I'm Talat Suhail. I welcome you all to Virtual University's program on Theories of Personality. Dear students, today is our lecture number 2, and in this lecture we are still talking about Introduction to Personality Psychology. Definition of personality, how different personality theorists are defining personality. We will be talking about that, and we will try to discuss and see how personality assessment takes place. Dear students, before beginning with our lecture number 2, let us recap what we did in lecture number 1. Now, in lecture number 1, we began talking about the nature of personality theory, और हमने ये देखा कि personality को define करना और किसी एक point पे आना is very difficult because of the diversity, the individual differences that exist in individuals. We came across the phenomena that one individual differs from the other individual, and it is because of this diversity the human nature is very different. दूसरा हमने देखा बहुत अहम बात है वो ये है कि आप जब भी ह्यूमन नेचर को डिफाइन करते हैं तो उसमें बहुत सारी चीज़ें आती हैं, उसमें बायोलॉजिकल फैक्टर्स आते हैं, सोशल फैक्टर्स, साइकोलॉजिकल फैक्टर्स, जिसकी वजह से ड्यू टू दीज ह्यूज individual differences, one individual differs from the other. Even identical twins differ in so many aspects from one another. उसके बाद हमने objectives of personality psychology देखे. हमने ये देखा कि पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी पढ़ने का ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है टू हैव अ जनरल इंटीग्रेटेड क्लियर कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी. उसके बाद पर्सनैलिटी असेसमेंट क्या है आपको मालूम होना चाहिए. फिर द इम्पॉर्टेंट थियरीज ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी एंड द की कॉन्सेप्ट्स ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी. पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी को पढ़ने का ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है हाउ टू मेक द लाइफ्स ऑफ इंडिविजुअल बेटर, हाउ टू इम्प्रूव देम, और वो इस तरह इम्प्रूव होंगी अगर वो अपने इन्वायरमेंट और दूसरे एस्पेक्ट्स के बारे में ज़्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन रखते हैं. सो पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी का ऑब्जेक्टिव है टू हैव क्लियर सेल्फ अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड सेल्फ एनालिसिस ऑफ योरसेल्फ. उसके बाद हमने ये देखा कि व्हाट मेक्स पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी अ साइंस. जनाब, द वेरी प्रोसेस वेयर वी ट्राई टू कन्वर्ट स्पेक्यूलेशंस, ओपिनियंस, बिलीव्स or attitudes about human nature into concepts, such concepts that can be studied and empirically tested. It is then that personality psychology becomes a science, a full, well-developed discipline. So, personality psychology का focus है in trying to make the lives of people more satisfying and to promote healthy patterns of growth in people. Theories of personality. Now, different systems of consistent constellation of concepts is called theories of personality. और हर theory of personality, each and every theory of personality is about human nature, and the goal of each and every theory of a personality is trying to understand the diversity, the individual differences that exist. उसके बाद हमने देखा था कि what purpose do these theories of personality serve. जनाब, there are basically 3 purposes जो हमने हाईलाइट करने की कोशिश की थी. सबसे पहला ये था कि a theory provides a framework, a kind of map for simplifying and integrating all events related to human nature. दूसरी तरफ हमने not only describes the past and present events but also tries to predict the future events. तीसरी चीज हमने ये देखी थी कि the purpose of a good personality theory is that the theory concepts must be testable and they should be capable of either being confirmed or disconfirmed. So these were the things we talked about. उसके बाद हमारा जो फर्स्ट लेक्चर था इट एंडेड ऑन द कॉन्सेप्ट दैट व्हाट क्राइटेरिया आर यूज्ड टू एवेलुएट अ थ्योरी, और हमने उसमें बात की थी आपसे कि देयर आर 6 क्राइटेरियाज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ विच वी एवेलुएट ए पर्सनैलिटी थ्योरी, जिसमें द क्राइटेरिया वेरिफाइबिलिटी, heuristic value, internal consistency, parsimony, comprehensiveness, functional significance. के बाद हमने देखा था कि वो क्या इन्फ्लुएंसेस हैं जो पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट के ऊपर बराह रास्त जो है जिनका असर होता है, जिसमें जेनेटिक्स, इन्वायरमेंट, कल्चर एंड सोसाइटी, सेल्फ अवेयरनेस, ट्रेड्स एंड अनकॉन्शियस मैकेनिज्म. Dear students, that is as far as our lecture number 1 was concerned. We tried to cover all these things in lecture number 1. So let us begin and continue our discussion on theories of personality in lecture number 2. Now, the word and the meaning of the word personality. ये जो लफ्ज़ है शख्सियत या personality, it has got many meanings, a number of meanings. For different person, personality means something else. Even within the discipline of psychology, the word personality has different meanings. ये इसलिए ज़रूरी है कि different personality theorists ने personality को मुख्तलिफ तरीक़ों से define किया. आप अक्सर word personality सुनते हैं, आप you often hear like people have a pleasing personality, such and such individual has a charming personality. आप सुनते हैं My friend has a fascinating personality. आप कहते हैं some of the political leaders have charismatic personality. आप कहते हैं नहीं फुला की personality बड़ी repulsive है, फुलाने की personality बहुत annoying है. तो ये जो label है personality, ये word है personality, ये हम अपनी अंग्रेजी ज़बान में बहुत ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल करते हैं. हम कहते हैं A has a lot of personality, B has a great personality, C has a terrific personality. So personality refers basically to the most striking, most dominant characteristics. So जब आप कहते हैं such and such individual has an aggressive personality, such and such has a shy personality, या आप कहते हैं Mr. T has a terrific personality, well actually you are referring to that pleasant disposition, his sincerity, his willingness to help people. So characteristic way or the dominant characteristic of an individual. बात ये है कि ये सारी चीजें देखने के बाद एक सवाल जो आपके ज़हन में बहुत ज़्यादा आता है कि what is personality? शख्सियत क्या है? What is this personality? We have used it in so many ways. तो ये है क्या? Well, dear students, personality refers to the characteristic ways a person behaves and thinks. So you can say personality refers to the overall impression that an individual makes on the other person, or the sum total of constellations or characteristics that are typical of an individual. तो आप ये कह सकते हैं कि it is an overall impression that an individual makes on the other person, that is personality. आप कहते हैं A has a very shy and timid personality, B is very sensitive and easily gets upset, C has a very suspicious personality, D is very confident and very successful in mannerisms in what he is trying to convey. Let us see this word personality. जनाब अंग्रेजी ज़बान में ये जो लफ्ज़ personality है, it has been derived from the Latin word persona. तो ये लफ्ज़ दरअसल अंग्रेजी ज़बान का नहीं है, बल्कि ये Latin word है वो जो कि derive हुआ है persona. Persona means a mask, एक cover. कुछ इस तरह था कि ग्रीक theatrical actors, they used to wear a mask, a persona while performing on the stage. तो वहाँ से ये term हमें persona मिलती. Secondly, persona also refers to the role an individual plays. जनाब बात ये है, हम आपसे बात कर रहे हैं कि पर्सनैलिटी क्या है, और ये जो लव्स पर्सनैलिटी है ये लैटिन वर्ड पर्सोना से मिला है, और दैट रिफर्स टू द मास्क दैट एक्टर्स यूज टू प्ले। ग्रीक ड्रामों में जो एक्टर्स थे वो ड्यूरिंग देयर थिएट्रिकल परफॉर्मेंस दे यूज टू वेयर अ मास्क, जिसको उन्हीं ने टर्म दी persona. Now, dear students, persona also refers to the public personality. Now, some people display a lovely, charming, fascinating personality around those people where they live. And for the lay person, this public personality is equivalent to the total personality. अब कुछ लोगों की जो पब्लिक पर्सनैलिटी होती है जनाब, वो बहुत attractive, desirable, popular, and it, mind you, this public personality should not equate to the total whole personality. This is just part of the personality. Behind this mask, behind this public personality exists the other side of you as well. So public personality and the other side combine together to give us the total person. So let us now consider and see how different personality theorists are defining personality for us. Now, for Carl Rogers, personality is defined in terms of self. Now, self refers to an organized, permanent and subjectively perceived entity which is at the heart of all experiences. For Gordon Allport, personality refers to that internal something that guides and directs all human activity. So Carl Rogers के लिए self and self as an organized, permanent, subjective entity reflected in all experiences, और Gordon Allport के लिए that internal something that guides and directs human behavior. For Freud, well, personality refers to id, ego, superego, and how id, ego, superego are the three components of the personality, and these are the three vital important components described by Freud. For Erik Erikson, personality refers to a series of psychosocial crises, and how an individual passes through these psychosocial crises and how his personality develops through them is important. So, dear students, different personality theorists are defining personality according to their own theory, and each somehow defines and tries to focus on a different aspect of human nature. कोई इसमें से सही और गलत की तरफ हम बिल्कुल वैल्यू जजमेंट पे नहीं आ रहे, हम सिर्फ ये कह रहे हैं कि डिफरेंट पर्सनैलिटी थेरिस्ट आर डिफाइनिंग पर्सनैलिटी डिफरेंटली अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर ट्रेनिंग, अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर इंटरेस्ट, अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर ओन थिंकिंग, कॉग्निशन एंड परसेप्शन। जितनी भी पर्सनैलिटी थेरिस्ट ने डेफिनेशंस दी हैं, अगर हम उन सारी पर्सनैलिटी थेरीज और डेफिनेशंस को देखें तो इनमें, इन सारी डेफिनेशंस में कुछ कॉमन थीम्स हैं. नंबर 1, most of the definitions of personality, they depict personality as an hypothetical structure or organization. In other words, personality is an abstraction which is based on inferences which are derived from behavioral observation. तो जनाब जितनी डेफिनेशंस हैं उन सब में पर्सनैलिटी एक हाइपोथेटिकल, एक एब्स्ट्रैक्ट कंस्ट्रक्ट और कॉन्सेप्ट के तौर पे हमारे सामने आती है, जिसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन जो है वो बिहेवियरल ऑब्जर्वेशन से मिली हुई है. नंबर 2, जितनी भी डेफिनेशंस हैं वो पर्सनैलिटी की यूनिकनेस इन ऑल इंडिविजुअल्स को इंडिकेट करती हैं. That one individual is unique, different from the other one. So all definitions focus on the uniqueness of individuals. Number 3, all definitions of personality, they emphasize on viewing personality in terms of life history, a developmental perspective, social experiences and changing environments. तो तीसरी इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ कि जितनी पर्सनैलिटी थेरीज हैं वो आपकी हिस्टोरिकल पर्सपेक्टिव, आपके एक्सपीरियंसेस, आपके इन्वायरमेंट, आपकी डेवलपमेंट, आपके तमाम एस्पेक्ट्स को दे टेक इनटू अकाउंट. डियर स्टूडेंट्स, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट डिफरेंट डेफिनेशंस ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी और हमने कहा कि ये जितनी डेफिनेशंस ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी हैं इनमें कुछ कॉमन थीम्स हैं. सबसे पहली इम्पॉर्टेंट थीम ये है कि all personality theorists are defining personality as an hypothetical abstract construct. दूसरी चीज़ है कि सब पर्सनैलिटी थेरिस्ट पर्सनैलिटी डिफाइन करते हुए इस बात पे स्ट्रेस करते हैं कि वन इंडिविजुअल इज़ यूनिक एंड डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द अदर वन. तीसरी अहम चीज़ ये है कि जितने भी पर्सनैलिटी थेरिस्ट हैं उन्हीं ने कुछ चीज़ों को बहुत इम्पोर्टेंस दी है वाइल डिफाइनिंग पर्सनैलिटी, सच एज हिस्ट्री ऑफ एन इंडिविजुअल, डेवलपमेंटल पर्सपेक्टिव, social influences and environment that an individual is living in. So dear students, we are talking about what is personality. हमने ये देखा कि personality क्या है. जनाब, different personality theorists are defining personality differently for us. तो हम ये देखते हैं कि different personality theorists are giving us different definitions of personality. लेकिन जो कॉमन जितनी भी थ्योरेटिकल डेफिनेशंस ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी आई, दे हैव सर्टेन कॉमन थीम्स. उसमें क्या है, सबसे पहली जो कॉमन थीम जितनी भी पर्सनैलिटी की डेफिनेशंस हैं उसमें ये है कि पर्सनैलिटी इज एन हाइपोथेटिकल कंस्ट्रक्ट एंड एब्स्ट्रैक्शन which is based on inferences which are derived on and based on behavioral observation. दूसरी जितनी भी डेफिनेशंस हैं उन सब में इस बात की तरफ फोकस है दैट इंडिविजुअल डिफरेंसेस आर प्रेवलेंट एंड द फोकस इज बेसिकली ऑन यूनिकनेस ऑफ इंडिविजुअल्स. थर्ड इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट ऑल पर्सनैलिटी थेरिस्ट दे emphasize a lot on the life history, on developmental perspective, on social experiences and changing environmental circumstances. So different variables are also taken into account. Dear students, we are talking about the definition of the word personality, how different personality theorists have defined personality differently. उसके बाद हमने ये देखा कि जितनी भी डेफिनेशंस हैं उनमें तीन कॉमन थीम्स हैं. बिल्कुल जनाब, सबसे पहली ये कि फोकस इज बेसिकली दैट पर्सनैलिटी इज समथिंग हाइपोथेटिकल. दूसरा फोकस है ऑन इंडिविजुअल्स यूनिकनेस. तीसरा है कि इम्पोर्टेंस इज गिवन टू हिस्ट्री, टू बैकग्राउंड, टू इन्वायरमेंट, टू डेवलपमेंटल प्रोसेस दैट इंडिविजुअल पासेस थ्रू. ये तो बात हुई जनाब के what are the different definitions and how the word personality have been defined. Now let us go through personality psychology as a field. Now what distinguishes personality psychology as a field from other domains is basically that this particular area, that is personality psychology, it tries or it attempts to synthesize and integrate the principles of other areas of psychology and tries to use them and describe human behavior or human nature. For example, in the psychology of perception, the basic structures and processes which are underlying how people perceive and interpret the world around them. Now this particular concept is used by personality psychology and it uses the principles and combines the principles of psychology of perception or cognitive psychology in understanding human behavior. तो बात यूं है कि पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी ये करती है कि जितने एरियाज ऑफ साइकोलॉजी हैं उनसे जितनी हेल्प और जितनी इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है उसको सिंथेसाइज करना है, उन सारे प्रिंसिपल्स को इंटीग्रेट करना है in trying to understand and explain human behavior. The more comprehensive a personality theory is, the more principles of different areas of psychology or general psychology it will incorporate into itself in order to explain human behavior, or in order to explain human nature, or in order to explain personality. Now, in the light of all what we are saying, we say we are talking about theories of personality. Now, no other area of psychology it attempts to cover as much a territory of psychology as personality. So, the focus in this course is going to be on the total individual, on whole of the person. जब हम कहते हैं total individual, whole of the person, we have got a very ambitious goal in front of us. We are trying to study an individual's thinking, perception, attitude, you name it, each and every aspect in order to study personality. तो आप ये कह सकते हैं कि जब आप ये कोर्स पढ़ रहे हैं तो you are surely going to have some very exciting, challenging course to undertake, and you'll enjoy knowing about different constructs and concept of personality, because it will provide you with information related to your own behavior and self. Dear students, we are talking about personality psychology. जनाब, जब हम पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी की बात करते हैं तो लेट अस सी कि जो पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी इन इट्स प्रेजेंट कंडीशन एंड स्टेटस जो आपके सामने है, उसके ऊपर कौन से फैक्टर्स, कौन सी फोर्सेस, कौन सी चीज़ों ने इन्फ्लुएंस किया. नाउ, of the many historical forces that have tried to influence personality psychology and that have shaped the present current form of personality psychology for us, well, there are 4 forces. 4 forces हैं, 4 important चीज़ें जो हम डिस्कस करेंगे. Number 1, यूरोपियन क्लिनिकल मेडिसिन. सबसे पहले यूरोपियन क्लिनिकल मेडिसिन देखेंगे. Number 2, we will see behaviorism. Number 3, gestalt psychology. And number 4, psychometrics. जनाब, ये वो 4 फोर्सेस हैं जिन्होंने पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी के ऊपर जिनका बड़ा इन्फ्लुएंस है और जिन्होंने पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी को आपके लिए एट प्रेजेंट कुछ करंट फॉर्म में प्रेजेंट किया. नाउ, यूरोपियन क्लिनिकल मेडिसिन. Janab, what is this European clinical medicine? However, the clinical medicine of 18th and 19th century Europe, particularly France, had most direct influence upon the structure of 20th century personality theory. The European clinical medicine of that time primarily dealt with the understanding, classification, and treatment of mental disorders. Based upon the French physician Philippe Pinel's work, he was able to conceive of psychotic personality disorders in terms of brain dysfunction. जनाब, बात आपसे हो रही है यूरोपियन क्लिनिकल मेडिसिन की, और हमने कहा यूरोपियन क्लिनिकल मेडिसिन, particularly the work which was going on in the European country France, where we see the focus was on actually understanding, क्लासिफाइंग एंड ट्रीटिंग मेंटल डिसऑर्डर्स. और फिलिप पाइनल का जो वर्क है उसमें उसका फोकस था ऑन बेसिकली अंडरस्टैंडिंग साइकोटिक डिसऑर्डर्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ ब्रेन डिसफंक्शंस. दैट इज हाउ ब्रेन एंड इट्स फंक्शनिंग लीड टू सर्टेन टाइप्स ऑफ साइकोटिक पर्सनैलिटी डिसऑर्डर्स. दूसरा इम्पॉर्टेंट इवेंट जो हमारे पास है वो एमाइल क्रेपलिन, अ जर्मन फिजिशियन एंड डॉक्टर who diagnosed schizophrenia and gave us 11 types of different schizophrenias that still we study in different books of abnormal psychology. दूसरी तरफ एमाइल क्रेपलिन ने बात की कि कुछ ह्यूमैनिटेरियन रिफॉर्म्स की इन ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ साइकोटिक इंडिविजुअल्स. तो जनाब, दूसरा इम्पॉर्टेंट इवेंट ये The third important event is that it was Sigmund Freud who developed his unique psychoanalytic therapy techniques, and he tried to classify personality disorders, and he laid a lot of emphasis on treatment of disturbed individuals थ्रू हिप्नोसिस इनिशियली, लेकिन फिर उसने हिप्नोसिस छोड़ दिया और उसके बाद ही बिगैन यूजिंग हिज फ्री एसोसिएशन, ड्रीम एनालिसिस, एनालिसिस ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस, ट्रांसफरेंस, slip of tongue, slip of pen. That is his own techniques of treating disturbed individuals, his own techniques of tapping the unconscious. Dear students, these are the three important events which we observed in European clinical medicine, which had a lot of influence in currently shaping the modern personality psychology. उसके बाद जनाब हमारे पास एक और इम्पॉर्टेंट एरिया है साइकोमीट्रिक्स. द वर्ड साइकोमीट्रिक्स और साइकोलॉजिकल मेजरमेंट हैज सिग्निफिकेंटली हेल्प टू मेक पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी अ साइंस, ए डिसिप्लिन, ए फुल फ्लेज ब्रांड ऑफ साइकोलॉजी. जनाब बात यूं है कि साइकोमीट्रिक्स और साइकोलॉजिकल मेजरमेंट हेल्प्स एन इंडिविजुअल to quantify what is intelligence. मसलन आप कहते हैं फुला शख्स इतना ज़हीन है, कितना ज़हीन है, उसका IQ कितना है, 120, 140, 200. आप कहते हैं I have aptitude for this thing, I have aptitude for engineering, I have aptitude for teaching, I have aptitude for computers. So we got to have a quantification of that. So it was through psychometrics that different constructs of personality such as intelligence, aptitude, interest, motives and all other things could now be measured. Though there are limitations in psychometrics, आप कभी भी 100% किसी की शख्सियत, किसी की जहानत, किसी की एप्टीट्यूड, किसी के मोटिव्स नहीं मेजर कर सकते. But with psychometrics, we can say that to a certain extent we can quantify, we can measure certain personality constructs. So in brief, we can say psychometrics made it possible that meaningful research in personality psychology could be carried on. अब जनाब बात ये है कि वो personality psychologist जो ये स्टडी करना चाहते हैं पर्सनैलिटी के मुख्तलिफ कंस्ट्रक्ट्स को, ही कैन बाय यूजिंग सर्टन साइकोमेट्रिक्स टेक्निक्स, ऑब्जर्वेशन हो सकती है, इंटरव्यू हो सकता है, साइकोलॉजिकल टेस्ट हो सकता है, रेटिंग स्केल हो सकता है, कोई सी भी टेक्निक निकाल के ही कैन मेजर डिफरेंट पर्सनैलिटी कंस्ट्रक्ट्स एंड देयर रिलेशनशिप टू वन अनदर. सो आप ये कह सकते हैं कि विद psychometrics personality assessment measurement is now possible. Dear students, we are talking about important historical influences on personality psychology, जिसमें हमने सबसे पहले का यूरोपियन क्लिनिकल मेडिसिन, जिसमें सबसे ज़्यादा फोकस फिलिप पाइनल के वर्क पे, उसके बाद एमाइल क्रेपलिन एंड द थर्ड वन ऑफ कोर्स सिगमंड फ्रॉइड. Then we talked about psychometrics और हमने ये देखा psychometrics is a very important area. With its help, now research in personality psychology is possible and all constructs of personality can now be quantifiable to a certain extent. The third important force is behaviorism. Behaviorism as a school of psychology was founded in 1913 by American psychologist Watson. It became extraordinary influential movement in American psychology, and although the days of psychology schools are distinctly over, its pervasive influences are still quite evident. Watson and Pavlov, who was most influential in setting the stage for the focus of contemporary behavioristic approaches to personality. Stimulated by such giants as Guthrie, Hull, and Tolman, all of whom developed their own elaborate theories of learning, their imprint on personality theory, therapy, research has been great. Social learning theories such as that of Albert Bandura also reflect influence of behaviorism. The third important influence on personality psychology is behaviorism. This school was founded by Watson. Watson के अलावा Pavlov and of course Guthrie, Hull, Tolman had a lot of influence in behaviorism. उसके अलावा हम ये देखते हैं social learning theories में Albert Bandura's influence is also reflected. Dear students, we are talking about the historical factors that have contributed in making personality psychology a science. The fourth important influence is Gestalt psychology. Now, the German word Gestalt, it does not have an exact equivalent in English language. The closest word that you can get have meanings such as form, figure, shape, configuration, structure. लेकिन अगर आप देखें जो Gestalt स्कूल है, इसका सारा फोकस जो है, they focus on perception and how you perceive something. दूसरी तरफ they are emphasizing on holistic psychology. That is, whole is more important than parts. The focus of Gestaltians is that they do not dissect human behavior into bits and pieces. Rather, they stress on the wholes. Whole of the behavior is more than parts. जबकि अगर आप दूसरा बिहेवियरिस्टिक ट्रेडिशन को देखें, उनका फोकस है ऑन डाइसेक्टिंग बिहेवियर इनटू बिट्स एंड पीसेस एंड व्यूइंग इट, स्टडिंग इट. Dear students, we are talking about the four important historical influences in shaping personality psychology, a science and a discipline, जिसमें सबसे पहला यूरोपियन क्लिनिकल मेडिसिन, नंबर 2 साइकोमेट्रिक्स, नंबर 3 बिहेवियरिज्म एंड नंबर 4 गेस्टाल्ट साइकोलॉजी. जनाब, गेस्टाल्टियंस जो थे उनका सारा एम्फोसिस और फोकस ही इस बात पे था दैट होल इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट देन द सम ऑफ द पार्ट्स. We are talking about personality psychology, the four important influences in shaping personality psychology, a discipline, a science, और हम ये देखना चाहते हैं कि what is happening at present, इस वक्त personality psychology में जनाब इस discipline में क्या हो रहा है. While the shape of today's personality field has been determined by historical factors, new directions in personality will result from events occurring now. Any discipline that studies the behavior of the people must remain open to factors that have direct implications for understanding human nature. In a world of constant change, these factors are numerous indeed. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब, what is happening at present in personality psychology area. बात ये है कि 4 important forces जिन्हीं ने personality psychology को एक साइंस और डिसिप्लिन में तो कन्वर्ट किया, और क्योंकि personality psychology is related with behavior of the people, so its doors should remain open to all those factors which have direct implications for understanding human behavior. बात यूं है कि in a world where we live is in constantly in turbulence, constantly in change, constantly in state of flux. Nothing is permanent. Things are changing. So for that particular purpose, when things are changing, this particular discipline has to take into account all the changes that are taking place. Dear students, we are talking about the current state of personality psychology discipline. उसमें हमने कहा सबसे important चीज है cross cultural research. Now cross cultural research has forced a re-evaluation of the generalizability of psychological findings from one culture and of subculture to another. What holds true for American college students may not apply to young people in other parts of the world. Now through cross cultural findings जो बात हमारे सामने आती है कि वो finding जो एक culture में true है may not be true for another culture, or what is true in one culture may not be true within the subculture of the same culture. तो बात कुछ यूँ है कि वो साइकोलॉजिकल रिसर्च और फाइंडिंग्स जो अमेरिकन स्टूडेंट्स के ऊपर की गई हैं मे नॉट बी ट्रू फॉर पाकिस्तानी स्टूडेंट्स, और दैट पर्टिकुलर रिसर्च फाइंडिंग विच इज डन इन पाकिस्तान फॉर होल ऑफ द कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स ऑफ पाकिस्तान may not be standing true for students in the city of Lahore. So due to vast influences in this particular area, cross-cultural findings cannot be generalized from one culture to another or within one subculture of the larger culture. Number 2, because of recent increased interest in study of cognitive or thinking processes, human conceptual abilities are becoming a more salient aspect of personality theory. जनाब बात यूँ है कि there is an increased interest in cognitive psychology, thinking, attitude, perceptions, और क्योंकि इस एरिया में इंटरेस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गया इसलिए पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी का सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट और सेलियंट फीचर है टू स्टडी the cognition, the attitude, the belief of an individual. Number 3, there is a constant change going on. Events are taking place in the world and these events have an influence in shaping the personality of an individual. दूसरी तरफ कंप्यूटर आ गया जी, and computer technology, it continues to open up new and exciting research areas. So the third important thing is changes which are taking place in the world, or computer technology has added another important variable. Number 4, there's another important thing. It so happens that there is now a more deeper awareness related to the values, the lifestyles and the meaning of life itself. आज का जो इंसान है उसके अंदर ज़्यादा अवेयरनेस है, उसे ज़्यादा नॉलेज है रिलेटेड टू व्हाट इज़ लाइफ, व्हाट इज़ लाइफस्टाइल एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. नाउ ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स हैव एन इम्पॉर्टेंट इन्फ्लुएंस on personality psychology, and it is because of these influences personality psychology is constantly changing, is constantly emerging, is constantly becoming. Dear students, हमने आपसे बात शुरू की कि what is personality. हमने ये देखा कि personality है क्या. We began our lecture by going through and defining what is personality. हमने ये देखा कि जो word personality है it has got different meanings, and these different meanings are there because psychologists have tried to define it differently according to different times. Now we commonly in our language we come across terms like A has a lot of personality, B has great personality, C has terrific personality. So personality refers to the most striking or dominant characteristic. और जब आप कहते हैं such and such individual has an aggressive personality or shy personality, so that refers to a dominant characteristic of that person. What is personality? Well, personality refers to characteristic way a person behaves or thinks. So personality refers to your overall impression, your atypical behavior or your characteristic ways और ये जो एटिपिकल बिहेवियर और कैरेक्टरिस्टिक वेज हैं, वी गेट इंफॉर्मेशन रिलेटेड टू देम थ्रू ऑब्जर्वेशन। बात आपसे हो रही है वर्ड पर्सनैलिटी की, और हमने कहा जो वर्ड पर्सनैलिटी है इट हैज़ बीन डिराइव फ्रॉम लैटिन वर्ड persona, और persona से मुराद लेते हैं मास्क, अ कवर which the Greek theatrical actors used to wear while coming on the stage and performing different roles. दूसरी तरफ पर्सनैलिटी से मुराद हम लेते हैं पब्लिक पर्सनैलिटी, दैट पर्सनैलिटी विच पीपल डिस्प्ले टू दोज अराउंड देम, a very polite, very mannerful, very humble side of themselves, but this is not the total personality. Public personality is one aspect and the other side of you is another one. उसके बाद हमने ये देखा कि different personality theorists are trying to define personality differently, and all of them are defining personality according to their training, according to their interests, according to their own theories. और हमने ये देखा कि जितनी definitions आपके पास personality की हैं उनकी कुछ common themes हैं. सबसे पहली बात ये है कि ये जितनी definitions हैं उसमें जो common feature है, number one, that personality is an hypothetical structure or organization or an abstraction. दूसरे हमने ये देखा कि जितनी personality की definitions हैं उनका focus है on uniqueness, on individual differences that are indicated. तीसरी चीज़ हमने ये देखी कि जितनी भी personality definitions आपके पास हैं उसमें personality theorists they are emphasizing a lot. They are giving a lot of importance to life history, developmental perspective, social experiences and changing environmental circumstances. तो जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है कि ये जितनी भी definitions हैं personality की उनकी कुछ common themes हैं, और ये तीन common themes हैं जो आपको ज़्यादातर personality definitions में मिलती हैं. उसके बाद हमने देखा पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी एज अ फील्ड ऑफ स्टडी, और उसमें ये देखा कि पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी बेसिकली इज ट्राइंग टू टेक हेल्प फ्रॉम अदर डोमेन्स एंड इट अटेम्प्ट्स टू सिंथेसाइज एंड इंटीग्रेट द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ अदर एरियाज ऑफ साइकोलॉजी. और जितनी ज़्यादा प्रिंसिपल्स और चीज़ें किसी भी पर्सनैलिटी थ्योरी में इनकॉर्पोरेट होंगी उतना ज़्यादा कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली वो इंडिविजुअल बिहेवियर और एक्सपीरियंसेस को एक्सप्लेन करेगी. उसके बाद जनाब हमने देखे कि कुछ हिस्टोरिकल फैक्टर्स हैं विच हैव कंट्रीब्यूटेड इन मेकिंग पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी अ डिसिप्लिन. उसमें हमने देखा यूरोपियन क्लिनिकल मेडिसिन, जिसमें वी वेंट थ्रू द वर्क ऑफ नंबर 1 फिलिप पाइनल, नंबर 2 एमाइल क्रैपलन और फिर सिगमंड फ्रॉइड. और हमने ये देखा कि यूरोपियन क्लिनिकल मेडिसिन हैज कंट्रीब्यूटेड इन द प्रेजेंट करंट पर्सनैलिटी थ्योरी. फिर बिहेवियरिज्म को देखा, गेस्टॉल्ट साइकोलॉजी को देखा और साइकोमेट्रिक्स को देखा. नाउ all of them have contributed in making personality psychology a discipline. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी की, और हमने ये देखा कि हिस्टोरिकल फैक्टर्स हैव कंट्रीब्यूटेड इन मेकिंग personality psychology a discipline. All of these 4 factors, whether it's European clinical medicine, psychometrics, behaviorism or gestalt psychology, they have contributed in making a personality psychology a discipline, a science. अब हम देखना ये चाहते हैं कि what is happening at present. हिस्टोरिकल फैक्टर्स ने, हिस्टोरिकल इन्फ्लुएंसेस ने पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी को उसकी करंट प्रेजेंट स्टेट में आपके सामने प्रेजेंट कर दिया. अब इस डिसिप्लिन का, इस फील्ड का आगे क्या रोल है, एट प्रेजेंट व्हाट इज हैपनिंग और आगे क्या है. जनाब बात ये कि पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी इज अ डिसिप्लिन दैट स्टडीज ह्यूमन पर्सनैलिटी, ह्यूमन नेचर, human differences. So this is one field which has one discipline and field which has to make its doors open for all the other things that are happening. अब बहुत सारी चीजें जो हैं वो हो रही हैं. सबसे पहली चीज ये है कि there is a lot of cross cultural research going on, and based on this cross cultural research, findings in one culture are generalized to the other culture, or findings in one culture subculture is generalized to other subculture. Well, this should not happen. ये नहीं होना चाहिए. उसकी वजह ये है कि वो साइकोलॉजिकल फाइंडिंग्स जो एक कल्चर में हैं, they just can't be applied and generalized to other cultures. या एक सब कल्चर में जो साइकोलॉजिकल फाइंडिंग्स हैं, they may not apply to other subculture. उसकी वजह और फोकस है कि we are talking about uniqueness and complexity of human behavior, human nature that takes place in real environment. दूसरी चीज जो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, दूसरा इन्फ्लुएंस जो पर्सनैलिटी साइकोलॉजी में करंटली बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, वो ये है कि there is a lot of emphasis on cognitive psychology. There is a lot of emphasis on thinking, perception, attitude, belief of an individual. Now, this particular area it influences a lot the personality development. तीसरी इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज जनाब जो बहुत अहम है वो ये है कि there is a constant social change going on. Along with this constant social change, computer technology and new concepts in research due to computer technology are there. So that is another important thing. उसके बाद जनाब बात कुछ यूँ है कि with this new time, people have developed a deeper awareness, a deeper understanding of values, lifestyles and meaning of life itself. So all these four things are currently influencing the personality psychology. Dear students, we are talking about personality psychology और हमने आपके साथ बात की about the meaning of the word personality. उसके बाद हमने आपके साथ बात की what is personality. We tried to define personality. उसके बाद हमने देखा कि word personality जो है वो लैटिन से डिराइव किया गया है फ्रॉम द वर्ड persona, और persona refers to the mask और public personality. और फिर हमने देखा कि different personality theorists has given us different definitions of personality. लेकिन जितनी भी definitions आपके पास personality की हैं उनके कुछ common features हैं, और उन कॉमन फीचर्स में से हमारे पास सबसे पहला कॉमन फीचर ये है कि all personality theorists are referring about personality as a hypothetical structure, an abstraction, an organization. उसके बाद हम ये देखते हैं कि सारे personality theorists जो हैं वो इंडिविजुअल की यूनिकनेस के ऊपर फोकस करते हैं. The third important thing is that almost all definitions of personality, they emphasize on life history, developmental perspective, social experiences and changing environmental circumstances. Here we are talking about personality psychology as we study. और हमने ये देखा कि personality psychology एक attempt to tries to synthesize and integrate principles of other areas of psychology such as cognitive psychology, social psychology, and tries to synthesize and integrate these principles in trying to understand, explain human nature, human behavior. Dear students, we talk about the historical factors that have influenced personality psychology. उससे हमने बहुत डिटेल में आपसे बात की ऑडियंस मेडिसिन की, जिसमें फोकस रखा है पाइनर वर्क पे, फिर पाइनर के वर्क पे, इमार रैपलन के वर्क पे, सिग्मंड फ्रॉइड के वर्क पे. Then we talk about psychometrics, और हमने देखा psychometrics are very important because with psychometrics you can quantify human behavior. आप personality को, attitudes को, preference को, interest को you can quantify them. Then we talk about behaviorism, it was Watson, Pavlov, Solomon, Skinner, and for how we interact here. Then talk about default psychology. हमने देखा कि it was Wertheimer, and people perception. That soul is more important than some of the parts. Behaviorists अगर behavior को dissect करें, stimulus और response के reference से study करें, Scholten focusing on studying wholes. That is, whole of behavior is more important than sum of the parts. Dear students, today we have talked about a number of things related to personality psychology. I hope you have enjoyed listening to them. I hope you take a lot of help from the PowerPoint slides that are available, Word document that is available. Do write to us if you have any questions. Do keep in touch. Take care of yourself. Hope to see you soon next time. Thank you. Assalamualaikum. I'm Talat Suhail. I welcome you all to Virtual University's program on Theories of Personality. Dear students, today is our lecture number 3. We are still talking about introduction to what is a personality theory. We will recap, before beginning with the lecture number 3, we'll recap what we did in lecture number 2 and then we'll begin with our lecture number 3. So let us recap what we did in lecture number 2. In lecture number 2, we were talking about personality. Well, personality is a term which does not have a common definition. It is something which has been used by many personality theorists differently. So the term personality has many meanings. As many meanings as the number of personality theorists who have tried to define it according to their own educational background, according to their own psychological personality theory, according to their own perception of what is personality. So we are talking about what is personality. Now in our daily life we hear the word personality being used by people in a number of ways. You hear person saying A has a lot of personality, B has a great personality, C has a very aggressive and shy personality. तो जब हम ये सारे labels use कर रहे होते हैं with reference to personality, so there is a very common question that comes to your mind. What is personality? Well, personality refers to characteristic ways a person behaves and thinks. So it is an overall impression that an individual makes on others, or it is a sum total of constellation of characteristics that are typical of the individual and thus observable in various situations. So personality refers to characteristic ways an individual thinks or behaves, या आप कहते हैं it refers to an impression that we have the other person. बात हो रही है personality. And in our lecture we did the word personality we read that is derived from Latin word persona. Persona means a mask that Greek theatrical actors used to wear when performing on the stage. So persona generally also refers to public personality. Dear students, there are two components of personality. A private side of personality which only you are familiar, and there is public personality which should display in front of individuals around you. So these are two different aspects, and together make a person. We should take the public personality for the total person. उसके बाद में different personality theorists have defined personality differently. But then go through all these definitions to come across there are certain common theoretical themes or key personality apparently in almost all definitions of personality. Specifically common in a way that all definitions take personality as an abstraction and hypothetical construct. Second important thing is that all definitions of personality focus on individual differences, how one individual differs from the other. Third is that almost all definitions of personality take into account the influence of individuals' personality, developmental perspective, and the changing environment or circumstances that individual is passing through. So ये तीन common features and characteristics जो आपको almost सारी personality theories में नाम मिलते हैं और नजर आते हैं. Personality psychology as we read is very important. It tries to integrate and synthesize all the general principles of general psychology and try to use them in explaining what is personality, how behavior develops, how an individual progresses in life. So almost all theories there is focused on using the general principles of the area of psychology, explaining human personality and human nature. उसके बाद हमने देखा there have been 4 important events which have contributed in making personality psychology science. इसमें से पहला था डॉक्टर clinical medicine. Number 2 we talked about behaviorism, psychiatrics and restored psychology. So we basically went through the 4 important theories that contributed in making personality psychology or discipline science. हमने उसमें study किया था clinical medicine, behaviorism, restored psychology, psychiatrics. So we were thinking about those things. Now at present, the field of personality psychology is very important because it takes into account the total person, thus study an individual, a personality. So as a discipline, this particular science has to make its door open to all the changes, all the new things that are happening. So whether it's cross-cultural influences, whether it's computer technology, whether it's the social changes that are taking place, or whether it's more awareness that is coming within an individual, all contribute in making personality psychology a science. बात अब शुरू now, what is personality? And that is as far as what we talked about in our lecture number 2. Dear students, today we are going to discuss with you on personality assessment, how we measure personality, how we assess personality. और उसमें हम देखें कि we use a number of tools. जहाँ हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं observation, we use interview, we use personality test. और जब personality test की बात आती है तो उसमें हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं objective personality test, जिसमें personality inventory की MPI-1, mini systematic personality inventory, MPI-2, which is a wide version of MPI-1. और हम इसके बाद देखेंगे a number of objective tests. इसमें Shark blot test, TAT, perception test, Lotus incomplete and test blank test, WAT, word association test, HTP हाउस फ्री पर्सन। इसके अलावा भी यहाँ बहुत सारे ऑब्जेक्टिव टेस्ट हैं बेशुमार, लेकिन ये बेसिक टाइप्स हैं जो पर्सनैलिटी के बारे में वैल्यूएबल इंफॉर्मेशन देते हैं। तो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, टुडे वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट पर्सनैलिटी असेसमेंट। और दूसरी तरफ हम बात करेंगे आपके साथ कि पर्सनैलिटी कैन बी स्टडीड विद रेफरेंस टू 4 पर्सपेक्टिव्स, with reference to 4 approaches. Number 1, the psychodynamic approach. Number 2, the dispositional approach. Number 3, the behavioral approach. And number 4, the humanistic approach. So these 4 perspectives or approaches or systems or schools contribute in the understanding of personality psychology. और हम इन चारों को देखेंगे वन बाय वन। फोकस हमारा चारों पे होगा। साइकोडायनेमिक को भी देखेंगे, डिस्पोजिशनल को भी देखेंगे, बिहेवियरल को भी देखेंगे, ह्यूमनिस्टिक्स को भी देखेंगे। सो लेट अस बिगिन विद आवर टुडेज लेक्चर, दैट इज पर्सनैलिटी असेसमेंट। जनाब, बात आपसे हो रही है पर्सनैलिटी असेसमेंट। साइकोमेट्रिक्स और साइकोलॉजिकल मेजरमेंट is a science. This is a specific field which has helped in making psychology a science. Psychometrics or psychological measurement, it helps in measuring personality. It provides us with valuable information related to an individual's intelligence, aptitude, attitude, emotional stability, you name it. Each and every area of the personality can be measured by a psychological test, interview, observation, or other techniques. So, we are talking about the role of psychometrics or psychological measurement. Psychological measurements have helped psychology in trying to quantify behavior. And with the advent of psychometrics and with the tools of psychological measurement, जिसमें observation भी है, interview भी है, psychological test भी है, with their help, research in personality psychology has become very meaningful, because without quantifying personality, it was not able to carry on with research in personality psychology. बहुत सारे सवालात आपके जहन में आते हैं जब भी हम मेजरमेंट की बात करते हैं। अक्सर एक सवाल जो बहुत आपके जहन में आता है वो ये आता है कि व्हाई डज अ फ्रेंडली पर्सन गेट्स नास्टी और मीन। क्यों एक बहुत प्लेजेंट सा इंडिविजुअल जो है वो नास्टी और मीनली आपसे एक्ट करता है, और what makes a person very confident and optimistic even under stressful situation. Now, to address questions like these, we take help from psychological measurement or psychological assessment. Now, personality assessment or personality measurement procedures are the ones which provide very useful information in understanding human nature or individual differences. Now, there are a number of tools which are available, और जो बहुत common basic tools हैं, they include number 1, observation, number 2, interview, and number 3, tests. Tests की जब बात करेंगे dear students, तो we are talking about personality tests.